100 years ago, smokestacks were a proud symbol of industrial progress. They meant jobs for the people, products in the stores. Refuse from a plant was a local problem, disfiguring only one tiny bit of land, water, or air. It seemed a small price to pay for more jobs, higher salaries, a rapidly improved standard of living.
Plant, and I'm Yaqui, Mexican, Choctaw, Cherokee, and European. I was born and raised under the shadow of the Chevron refinery in Richmond. Of course, when we were young, we didn't know what that meant, but now I understand that living in that refinery corridor is so damaging to the health of not only the human beings, but also all of our non-human relatives. There are 5 refineries along the northeast San Francisco Bay. Most people don't realize that. They're kind of in isolated areas. Every human being has a responsibility to make sure that the greenhouse gases do not continue to go up for us to survive. And that's really what's at stake, is the survival of not only our species, but all of our non-human relatives. We created these refinery healing walks with frontline community activists in order to bring all of these refinery towns together and to walk through them all, where we can see the rusted pipes and the poorly maintained refineries, and where we can see the toxic pools of water.
At the individual level, it's about consumption. So use less. Be aware of what you leave on. Leaving your lights on all day, is a waste. And in California, our peak happens sort of in the afternoon, in the middle of the day. So you want to reduce that peak. In California, most of our generation still comes from greenhouse gas emitting resources. We are moving towards clean energy as a way of offsetting the impacts on the environment and reducing the climate change impacts. What we're doing with our production of energy is having an impact on the environment. And so to the extent that we want to correct that, the options really become obvious, that we really should focus on renewable energy and reducing our consumption of energy.
There are many ways of classifying energy today. And so here at the San Francisco Public Utilities Commission, we satisfy our renewable portfolio standards with almost exclusively our Hetch-Hetchy hydroelectric power. We also produce and generate a little bit of solar power and a little bit of biogas power, both of which are considered renewable by the state of California. Just several years ago, solar power was very expensive, but the costs have come down, and it's one of the easiest ways to generate what we call locally distributed generation right here in a big city. And we're doing more and more of that for a lot of reasons, because it's clean, it's green, but also for the drought as well. You have to diversify your power supplies.
Is it cost effective to collect food scraps for composting and energy production? Absolutely, it's cost effective. So we collect these food scraps, we hydrolyze them, we mix them with water, and we put them in a digester, and then we introduce microorganisms that eat the food scraps, and they off-gas, or they produce methane gas. This is in a captured tank, a closed tank, so we capture 100% of the methane. We make it intentionally and we capture it. You can pipe that methane to a generator and burn it and produce electricity. The terrific thing about composting and anaerobic digestion is that you're not filling up a landfill. You don't have to buy a big area of land and put a big liner system and then you fill it up and you put dirt on top of it and you have to manage it into perpetuity, and now the landfill is full and you have to go buy more land and do it again. There's a lot of costs that you avoid when you compost. You bring material to a site, you turn it into compost at that site, and then you bring it to a farm. Recycling and composting are really highly effective ways to help protect the environment. We've learned new information, like how composting helps save water, tremendous amounts of water. Like how composting returns carbon to the soil. It can be one of the things that helps address the challenge of climate change. There's great new powerful information that we didn't know 40 years ago. And now we know there's new science. And we want everybody to know that there's tremendous benefits to recycling and there's tremendous benefits, environmental benefits to composting.
I believe that we all have the power to create a rapid shift, and that not only do I just believe that, I see it happening. I've been an activist since about 1981. I have never seen a movement grow the way that this movement is growing.
Scum in the river, but a chicken in the pot every Sunday. A stench in the air, but a car in the garage.